Chapter 15 is called Confession Time. We set Trent up with the oxygen and he crawls deeper into the hollowed out bush to get some sleep. He totally hasn't earned the right to have the next nap, but to be honest, we're all sick of listening to the rubbish that comes out of his stupid mouth, and we're looking forward to some time to chat amongst ourselves without his smug comments. Kate, Aidan, Mac and I all climb up the lookout tree and find the comfiest branches to sit on, which isn't easy because branches weren't made to be comfortable for humans. We have Dale's notes with us, but they're just a bunch of meaningless squiggles. They'd be hard to work out on a good day, but by now we're so tired we can't think straight. We've got no chance of getting anything useful from them. You feeling all right, Katya? I ask. Surprisingly, I feel fine, she says, apart from the tiredness and hunger and blisters and stuff. How about you guys? Same, says Mac, yawning like a lion. Do you want the next sleeping slot, I say. No, Adrian should have it. Why should I have it, Adriana says. Because I'm a girl. Mac's stumped. I'm pretty sure there's no correct answer to this question. I'm not as tired as you, so it makes sense that you go first, she says. Unless you need to, Lance. Nah, I'm okay. I'm used to managing on hardly any sleep. I mean, I'm tired, obviously, but I can wait a bit longer. So is the CPAP machine yours? Mac asks. I can't see him because he's on a higher branch than me and hidden by the leaves, but I can hear in his voice that he's nervous about asking. How do you know about CPAPs? I say. I've done a lot of first aid training, Mac says, among other things. What's a CPAP? Kat asks. Is it that oxygen mask thingy? It's a breathing regulator, says Mac. The gadget attached to the tube makes sure the airways are kept open so breathing is stabilised. They're used by people with sleep apnea, I say. This is part of the secret I've been holding so close for years. I have sleep apnea. When I try to sleep, my breathing stops. Then I jump awake. The hospital gave me the CPAP so I can get some proper rest. I can't sleep without it. So that's why you never go to any sleepovers, Katya says. It's one of the reasons, I say. What's the other reason? Aid is up on the branch with Mac, and I imagine them looking at each other, making faces, raising eyebrows at loser Lance and his weird sleeping habits. But I'm too tired and too much has happened for me to bother hiding stuff from them anymore. My mum has Crohn's disease. I pick at my nails, which are black with dirt. She got it when she was pregnant with me. It makes her really sick. She goes into hospital a lot and she can't leave the house that much. So, you don't like people going to your house, Mac says. There's a moment of quiet. Why didn't you tell us? Katya is sitting on the branch next to mine and I can tell she's looking right at me. I don't look back. 'Cause I didn't want to intimidate you with my coolness, I say. The branch above me rustles. Do you want to know how I know so much about first aid and survival skills and tracking? Mac says. I've been wondering about that. I risk a glance over at Kat. She smiles at me, and not in a weird way, in the same way she always does, like everything's safe and warm. You know how every summer I tell you I'm going to Lithuania to see my family and I can't contact any of you because we don't have Wi-Fi? Mac's family has been spending the whole summer in Lithuania for as long as I can remember. And you said nobody there has mobile phones, says Kat. Yeah, well, that's not strictly true, says Mac. We do go to Lithuania, but not to see family. My mum and dad are preppers. Preppers? Adriana says. They're getting me and Zuzi is Mac's little sister, ready for the end of the world. Wait, what? I've never heard Adriana so confused. They think there's going to be a third world war or a global natural disaster or a zombie apocalypse or some other massive event that will destroy the world as we know it, Mac says. So they built a bunker in the countryside in Lithuania. It's like 3 stories underground. It has electricity, a bathroom, kitchen, bedrooms, and it's full of stuff. Everything we'd need to survive on our own for years. As far as bunkers go, it's legit. So you go there every summer, I say. Yeah, my parents take it super seriously. We're totally off-grid, not allowed any contact with the outside world, and they teach us to build fires and hunt and stuff. Isn't Susie only in reception? Katya asks. Doesn't mean she can't snare a rabbit. Wow, says Aid. It must seem kind of insane to you guys, Max says. Mac's parents seemed so normal. I had no idea. Do you want to know why I'm so good at climbing? I look over at Katya, but she's concentrating hard on braiding her hair. Yeah, I say, because let's face it, we've all been wondering. I was taken into care when I was really little, she says. My mum couldn't look after me. She tried, but she couldn't. Oh, Kat, Adrienne says. I didn't know. Nobody does. Kat unbraids her hair and starts all over again. I was in a home for a while. It smelt funny and the bed was hard. My room felt like a prison. I hated it. So I ran away, over and over again. Then they put me in a foster home and I hated that too. I got really good at climbing out of windows and escaping across rooftops. She smiles in this way that makes her eyes twinkle. Eventually I went to a foster home I liked and my foster mum adopted me, so everything turned out fine. But for a few years, climbing was the only thing that made me feel better. I really want to hug her, but that's not easy to do when you're perched on separate branches in a massive tree. I can't believe you guys have been keeping these huge secrets for so long, Adrienne says. I mean, I would have thought you would have shared this stuff with each other. I understand why you wouldn't want it to be spread around the school, especially with idiots like Trent around. So what is the story with you two, I say? We all thought you and Trent were besties, you know, being head boy and head girl together. I've never liked him, she says. I used to tolerate him, but then... What happened? Max says. I don't want to say. Please tell us, Aid, Kat says. We've told you our secrets. Tell us, I say, and then we all start quietly chanting, tell us, tell us, tell us. Fine, she says, but this story had better never leave this base camp or I will hunt you down and kill you. We promise, I say. You can trust us. It's not like the stuff you guys have been through, she says, but it was the worst moment of my life. It happened in year 5. It was half term and my mum got a call from Trent's mum saying he was having a last minute birthday party and that he'd really like me to go. I don't remember him having a birthday party, Max says. I mean, obviously we wouldn't have been invited. But he definitely would have made sure we knew about it. One of Trent's favourite things was to make me, Chet, Mac and Kat feel left out. I really didn't want to go, but my mum made me feel guilty and said at least I'd get to see my friends, so I agreed, Adrienne continues. Of course, none of us had phones then, so I couldn't check with anyone. I'm liking where this is going, I say. I look over at Katya to see her grinning. So the next afternoon, my mum drops me at this posh spa hotel. Trent's mum meets us at the door and tells my mum to collect me at 7. That's 5 hours. I repeat, 5 hours from the time I got there. The first part of the party is in the pool, she says, so I get changed into my swimming things and go to the pool expecting everyone from school to be there. She takes a breath. But there's just Trent and his entire family. Not just his mum and dad and older sister, but aunties and uncles and cousins. And me. I keep looking at the pool entrance, thinking any moment my friends are going to walk in, or at least somebody I know. But an hour ticks by and I realise nobody else is coming. It's just me. And the Trents, Max sniggers. I'm not happy about it, but I don't want to upset Trent's mum, so I just get on with it, swim some laps, play politely with the inflatables. This is one of the best stories ever, says Kat. Then, after swimming, we all get into the hot tub thing, Aid says, and we're sitting there chatting with these fruity drinks, all of us in a circle. I'm willing the time to pass quickly, but it feels like forever. Then finally we get out and get changed and everything. Please say it's not over yet, I say. It's not over yet, Aid says, and I can imagine how pink her face is. We go into the hotel restaurant and they've booked a huge table for all of them and it's decorated with balloons and sparkles and birthday banners. I go to sit down but the waiter says, "No, mademoiselle, We have a special table for the birthday boy and his girlfriend. Kat lets out a little squeak of a giggle and I squeeze my lips shut tight so I don't laugh. Next to the big table, Aid says, is another small table with 2 chairs. She pauses. Go on, Max says. Another breath. And a rose and a candle. Katya is shaking with giggles she's trying not to let out. I put a twig in my mouth and bite down hard. Anything to keep from laughing. Matt makes a noise that is half laugh, half cough. The whole family is saying how sweet it is and taking photos of us. Hold hands, they say. And I'm dying inside and I wish I'd drowned in the pool. There's no holding it in now. We're laughing so hard we nearly fall out of the tree. It was harrowing, Aid says. What did you do? Mac asks. I got up and ran to the reception of the hotel and started crying. Even Adrienne is laughing now. Trent's mum called my mum to pick me up and I sobbed all the way home. We laugh so much that the whole tree shakes and bits of leaf and twig drop through the branches like confetti. We'd better wake Trent up, I say. We don't know how long we'll have here before the bug eyes come and we all need to get some sleep. Maybe he's been eaten by bears, Aid says hopefully. Dale said something about bears, remember? I say, right after he asked for water. I wonder what that was about. Kat gasps and starts flicking through Dale's notes. I saw something, a picture, she says. Here it is. She leans over and shows me a pencil sketch of a creature that looks like a cross between a woodlouse and a hippo. Underneath is written water bear and it's underlined about 8 times. What the hell's a water bear, I say. It's another name for a tardigrade, Matt calls down. Let me see the pic. A hand is thrust down through the leaves. I pass him the bit of paper. Yeah, this is a tardigrade, he says. It looks terrifying, says Adrienne. I hope there aren't any lurking around here. First of all, they're tiny, says Mac. You can only see them through a microscope, kind of like alien spores. And second, they're actually awesome. They can survive the most extreme conditions and they live off stuff that would kill the species. They eat the bad bits of things, the rotten parts, and leave the healthy parts behind. Like they can purify water, for example. Okay, this is interesting. My brain is fighting through its sleepy fog, but I'm sure there's something here we can use. Guys, Adrienne says, and a branch above me creaks. I think she's climbing higher up the tree. I can see movement. Can you get any higher, Kat? Katya leaps up the trunk and out of my view and like some kind of tree climbing ballerina. It's them, she says. Hosh, Digger and Chet's. They're spread out through the trees and heading this way. Damn, they're sweeping the woods, I say. Everyone climb down as quickly and as quietly as possible. We'll grab our stuff and move on. We'd better take Trent, Kat says. Or we could leave him. Adrienne climbs down to my branch and then drops to the ground. Ew, bird poo, she says, and wipes her hands on Trent's backpack.